I'm Metal Scholar, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own precious metals inventory in Google Sheets and show you how you can keep track of your precious metals current value without ever having to go outside to another website to check the spot price and then type that into your spreadsheet over and over. That's because I import the current spot prices from the commodities page over at Business Insider. So every time you refresh your Google Sheet, your current values are refreshed as well. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for your kind support. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go on over to Google Sheets. You all have a Google Sheet. You may not know it, but if you have Gmail, then you actually have Google Docs and you have Google Sheets and you have Google Slides. Basically, you have a Google Drive, which is a spot where you can save all kinds of things like papers and documents and things like that. For our purpose, we're going to go to the Sheets portion. And so to get there, you can just type sheets.google.com if you're logged in. And when you get there, here's where they all are. And we're going to hit blank. And you're in a blank sheet. And we're just going to go ahead and give it a title. We'll call this Metals Inventory. So I'm going to call mine Precious Metals Inventory and Current Value Sheet. I'm also going to change the font size right here. I like impact as far as my font, and I'm going to raise the size to about 23. I'm going to change the color too. I like red. Then we're going to give ourselves a little title for the table that we're about to import from Business Insider. So we'll call this the Precious Metals Current Spot Price imported from Business Insider. And just like we did with the other one, I'm going to change the font to impact. I'm going to go a little bigger, and I'm going to go with blue. This is the part where we're going to actually use that information from Business Insider. So I went to Business Insider and found that they have a commodities page, which includes gold, palladium, platinum, and silver. I basically found that there's a table that I can import, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We have to import by using a formula called import HTML. So the way to do that is you type an equal sign and then the word import and then the letters HTML. Then you make a parenthesis and a quotation mark, and then you got to actually copy and paste the page that we're going to actually use. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this one that shows gold. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go over here and hit paste. And then I'm going to make sure that I put a quotation mark and then a comma and then another quotation mark and then the word table, because it's going to grab just the table that includes the precious metals. And then I'm going to end parenthesis. And then when I hit enter, it literally loads all that information from Business Insider. So that's current spot price. Now I'm going to change this header and make it blue. So I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to highlight these elements right here and make it look nice with this light blue here. So these all go together. All right, next one I want to do is get right to my precious metals collection. And I'm going to make up some numbers. I'm not going to give my exact amounts. I'm just going to pretend I'm a typical newbie. And so I'm going to call this section my precious metals collection. And we're going to go ahead and make this also impact a little bigger. Maybe we'll go red again. Maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, enter. And this is the part we're going to list our silver, and then we're going to list our gold. So first we'll go type of silver, and I'm going to go all caps here and spread out this cell a little bit. There we go. And then quantity, I'm just going to abbreviate QTY. Next one, I'll say weight in ounces. And then we're going to go with total ounces. All right. Now, as far as this, I think I want to make this bold. And then I also want to make it kind of silver color. So I'm going to go over to the paint bucket and just choose a light silver. That looks good. Okay, now I'm going to list some of the typical things that people have. So a type of silver, they might have a 10-ounce silver bar. And let's say they have two. And maybe we know that weight in ounces is 10. I mean, I'm not saying that 2 times 10 is 10. No, 2 times 10 is 20, but we're going to save the math for a little while later. But we're saying, let's say I have two of these. One 10-ounce silver bar is 10 ounces, and we'll do the math in a minute. Now, of course, a lot of people have the famous 1-ounce silver rounds and coins, so we'll just say we'll lump those all together. 1-ounce silver rounds and coins. We're just going to stick with spot price, by the way. All right, so for quantity, we're going to go with 87. Let's pretend we have that many, and we'll pretend that, well, we already know that it's 1 ounce of weight. We'll do the math in a minute. We'll do 87 times 1, of course, will give us 87, obviously. And then we'll go, let's say, now this is the part where the math, the multiplication is going to come in handy, spreadsheet-wise. So, because, for example, if we have 90% halves, let's say we had, I don't know, 13. When it comes to the weight in ounces, it's not 0.5. If they're circulated, we know they're already 90%. We know that that's going to be less, definitely less than 50%. So the actual math on a half is going to be decimal. It's going to be 0.36169. Then we're talking quarters. So let's say we got some 90% quarters. Let's pretend we have 40. Got 40 of these quarters, and it's going to be 0.17875 ounces. And then let's say we have some dimes. Let's go 90%. Let's say we have 31 of those. And again, it's not going to be 0.1. It's going to be more like 0.0715 ounces per dime. We'll stop there for a minute. Now we'll talk about types of gold. So I'll go all caps here, type of gold that we have. We'll do the same thing as before, quantity. We'll go weight in ounces, and then we'll go total ounces. And then we'll turn that bold. And color-wise, that looks nice and gold. So that'll keep our colors separate from the silver. In this case, maybe a typical thing someone might have would be a 1-ounce gold eagle. So we'll put 1-ounce gold eagle. We'll say they have maybe 1. And of course, we know the weight in ounces would be 1 troy ounce. Maybe they have a 1/10 ounce gold Britania. And they have one of those at let's see, that would be 0.1 ounces. Okay, so now we can do some math, because basically we want this to be updatable. So for example, if I buy, if I add, say, 10 more halves to my collection, I don't want to constantly do math. So we're going to set the math equation now. So don't be too intimidated. There's a lot of formulas underneath the engine here of this spreadsheet. So all we're going to do is harness the power and let it do all the calculations. So I want the product of 2 times 10 to show up right here. So the way I do that is I type an equal sign and then the word product. And then I put a parenthesis, open parenthesis, and it assumes, it kind of already guesses that I want to multiply these two numbers. So when I do that, I just hit enter and it does it for me, which is kind of cool. So just to check our math, 2 times 10 is 20. So if you double click on the cell, you have your formula, equals product sign, and then you've got the parentheses B10, which is this cell, like we're playing Battleship, B10. So the X and the Y coordinates come together at this number 2. And then C10 would be like C10, you sunk my battleship, C10. So if we have B10, comma, C10, give me the product of that and show me right there. Boom. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's do the same thing over here for the rounds. So equal sign, product, parenthesis, and then same thing, it's assuming, so I just hit enter because it's guessing correctly. And now here's where we're gonna do a little bit of fancy thing to. I don't want the decimal points to be out to the like 100,000th here. I want this to be like two decimal points long. So we're gonna do a little equation right in front of this and write the equal sign, the word round, and then close the bracket. So it's going to round it. But notice it didn't round it. I have to tell it how I want it to round it. So let me go back and do that again. Equal sign, round, and then parentheses. I want to go to the end of the number and comma sign 2. I want it to only go to 2 places. Now notice it rounded it to 0.18. Ooh, I messed up this one. Round it to, oh yeah, I got to do the comma 2 right here as well. There. Okay, so again, I'm just going to go to equal sign, round, parenthesis, go to the end of the number, put a comma, tell it 2 places, enter. There, now everything is rounded. So we're still going to do our math. We're going to equal sign product. Yep, that's what we wanted to do. Equal sign product. And then I like it when it guesses correctly. Equal sign product. Boom. All right. So now we've got all these amounts. And if you'll notice when you highlight them in the right, it tells you the sum. So 20 plus 87 plus 4 something plus 7 something plus 2 something gives you a sum of 121.05 ounces. We're going to do something with that sum in a minute, but let's make sure we continue our math with the gold. So we're going to go 1 times 1 is 1. Well, why don't you just write 1? Well, that's because we need it to populate it. We have to make the spreadsheet do the math so that when we update it later, it'll update for us and we won't have to do math. So we're going to say equal sign product B16 times C16, enter. Yes, correct. So 1 times 1 is 1. And last one, equal sign product. And then, yep, there it is, 0.1. So then notice when I highlight these two, and it says the sum is 1.1. Well, that's correct. So now we want to get we're on to the last step, which is our summary. So this is where we're going to write total summary, total value summary. And just like we did before, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to change the font to impact. I'm going to go ahead and change the size bigger and of course red so it pops. Boom. And now we're going to have a total ounce of silver total. We're going to have a total silver value, a total ounce of gold, and a total gold value. And then finally a total stack value. All right. And to keep with our theme, let's change with using the paint tool, let's change the theme so that it's a little bit silver looking. Let's change the gold with the paint to make it look a little goldy. It'll catch our eyes, and then we'll make this total stack value real pop. It'll be really pop and it'll be pink. And then in fact, all these values will make them all pink. Why am I saying pink? I mean yellow, sorry. Okay, so we got yellow. All right, so now total ounces of silver. We want the sum to show up right there. So it's really easy. It's another calculation. Equal sign sum, quotation mark, and then we're going to select the range from here to here and hit enter. Boom. So what happens is if you click on the formula here, we're saying that the sum is, give me the sum of D10 all the way to D14 and put it right there. So it did it right there. Then we want the total silver value to show up here. Now this is where our spot price comes in handy. Having it right here, updated and populated like in real time, that's where it really is really going to help us out. So we want this cell to represent money. So I'll go up here and click the money sign so that it's the format is currency. And then what I'm going to do is say, I need to multiply how much silver I have times the spot price. So it's a product. So we do the equal sign again and we write product. And in this case, it's going to be this cell. Oops, let me try that again. Product, quotation, not quotation mark, parenthesis. And then I choose this cell right here. And then I have to put a comma because I also want it to multiply times this cell right here. And then end parenthesis, enter. Boom, and there's our value of silver. 121 ounces times $24 spot is roughly $2,925. We can do the same thing with gold. So right here, I want this sum right here to show up in this cell. So I just type equal sum and then parenthesis, and then I just highlight that range right there, end parenthesis, hit enter, boom, and there's our value, 1.1 ounces. And then I just do a math problem, right? I want to multiply how much silver I have in ounces times the spot price of silver, and I want it to show up right here in this cell. So I want it to be money, so I make sure I click on the format as currency, and then I'm going to do equal sign product, and then close parenthesis, and I'm going to say that cell and then a comma times that cell up here and then a parenthesis, enter, and there you have it. We have $2,153.64 worth of gold, and the final last hurrah would be how much silver plus how much gold. Well, that's going to be an easy calculation. I want the sum to show up right here, so we're going to do equal sign sum parenthesis, and then I want this cell comma plus this last cell, parenthesis, enter, boom. Total value of our stack is $5,079.41. Now, this is really easy to update. This is what makes it great. So for example, let's say I bought 10 more quarters. So if I change the number 40 to 50 and I hit enter, you'll notice that the 7.2 number will go higher, but it's also going to affect our total ounces of silver and our value of silver, and of course our stack value. So as soon as I hit enter, watch what happens to the 7. That number goes to 9. Our value, our ounces of silver goes to 122, and our silver value goes to 2,969, and our total pot is $5,122. It should have updated as well. Same thing if I change the amount of gold. So let's say, for example, I bought another Britania. Now I have 0.2. Sorry, never mind. That stays the same. My bad. Let's say I bought a second Britania, 2. So I hit enter. Watch what happens to our value over here. Boom. It goes to 0.2. It changes our gold value, and now our total stack value is $5,318.70. All right, so this also works if I were to insert cells. So let's say I bought a 5-ounce silver bar. So I can go here, right click, and I can insert a row below. And I'm going to call this 5-ounce silver bar. And then I have 1, and we'll say, of course, it's worth 5. So we have to tell this cell to behave like a multiplication problem. So product, and then hit enter, and then it should keep this tallied up. Now we're at 127, and notice our value went up more. Same with gold. Let's insert a row below, and let's say we want a 1/2 ounce gold eagle. It's going to be one of them, and our weight in ounces will be 0.5 in this case. And so of course we got to do the math problem, equal sign product, enter. And now notice our gold amount has gone up to 1.7 ounces, and now our total value of our stack is $6,418 right there. I will leave a link to this spreadsheet in the description. So if you want to take it, play with it, change the numbers, have at it, feel free. Hey, do me a favor. I'm trying to grow my channel. If you could like the video, if you could subscribe to my channel, maybe even make a comment, that helps the algorithms. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And if you like this content, please share it with your friends. Dream big, dream often, and then go do it. Metal Scholar, over and out.